Yeah, you good.
We got some good earnings coming up this week, or decent earnings. There's a few of them that I like.
Yeah, I was gonna go through that. What's crazy is I had just been cleaning up, made some carne asada tacos just now.
Nice.
Hop out here and get this shit together for this because I ain't want to be just rushing to, you know what I'm saying? I don't be liking to feel rushed when I'm doing something important.
Nah, for sure.
So I was later on tonight after I ate and shit, I was gonna actually try to look into some of them companies. You know, of course, Big Dog Nvidia, he about the report. So I think that's gonna
Mhm.
be another opportunity for a short play. Because if they have good earnings, they're gonna run up because of their good earnings. But the market is down, so they're gonna run up for a little while. And I feel like it's gonna do the same thing AMD just did.
Yeah, there's some new information that just came out this weekend that the U.S. is building a relationship with Taiwan. Um,
A word?
yeah, so we may have some a catalyst going into the week in regards to semiconductors. I'm probably gonna be focusing on semiconductors and more so the remainder of retail, just because we already got some of those results, so we can kind of see what we can expect overall. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Burlington Coat Factory, it's a couple like Hibbett Sports and a few other ones that pretty much are reporting this week. And if Walmart, Target, like the big box retailers aren't succeeding, um, I think the even more consumer discretionary companies like Hibbett Sports and that don't see as much revenue and stuff like that, they probably gonna be affected just as much, if not worse. So
Yeah,
like retail downside, waiting to see what semiconductors do. I'm not choosing a direction, more so just understanding that there's potential volatility there. So whether it be
yeah.
on the upside or downside, I could probably scalp that.
That's definitely what I'm banking on. Is just volatility either which way.
Yeah.
That's crazy that you said that though, because I had you can see the screen.
Uh-huh.
I have put these companies in there, and I purposely left TSM out because of everything that's going on. But shit, since you say that, let me go ahead and throw these motherfuckers in here. State market cap. Oh, so they should be over here.
My favorites are NVIDIA, AMD. I like Taiwan Semiconductors. I like Micron. I also like
Yeah.
Qualcomm.
And I honestly I just took Qualcomm out for TSM. What I did was I just checked the top five semiconductors in America. So that's the reason why TSM was out, and that's the reason why honestly MU was out because of the fact that it was the top five in market cap. But I like MU way more than I like Intel. But this is like
Yeah.
higher market cap. So matter of fact, I'm gonna just take them out. I ain't gonna hold you. I really don't like Intel too much as far as this lineup.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna put TSM here. Now TSM is bigger than everybody. So we'll go TSM, NVDA, AVGO, everything still in market cap.
Yeah, and I think China even says something about the U.S. attempting to create like relations with Taiwan, but that's like, you know, that's like their piece of land that they want. Same way like Russia wants that piece of Ukraine. Same way that it's pieces of uh, parts of the Middle East that the U.S. is, you know, trying to take over subtly and quietly. So I think that's definitely something to keep eyes on, just because of the talk that's gonna come around it. You know,
Hmm.
as far as direction, and it's literally no way to know, and it's kind of gotta react and shit like that.
Hmm. Yeah, shit. If ain't nobody gonna hop on, shit, we can get going. I don't give a damn. All the way real.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. I'm about to do my thing or whatever. You got stuff to do.
No, no, no. I was more so saying like we could do the presentation. I ain't saying like hop off. I'm saying
Oh shit! Yeah, I was already. I thought we were starting it. I wasn't waiting.
not yet. Yeah, my fault.
Yeah, I thought we was already starting. You feel
Yeah.
me?
So
Just cause we
yeah, because
can't.
I don't care. It's recorded anyway. If they, you know, like we gonna make sure it's value in it. It's on them to go and search for the value themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I just want as we show that this is our routine and stuff like that. I think people falling. You know, they paying for something.
Hmm.
You would think that they would be here. So I'm not really too worried about them not being here.
Yeah,
But I just want to make sure that we getting our thoughts out and preparing for the week so we can still deliver throughout the week.
yeah. You shit. You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I was let me screen share real quick.
You should be good to go.
Yeah, so I got Bone on my watch list for this week just because over the weekend they successfully docked on the International Space Station, something that SpaceX and I don't even think Blue Origin was able to do that yet, but SpaceX was the one company that has been able to do it. I'm not sure the details, but that's a potential catalyst that I was looking at. Just Boeing and going through their technicals and shit like that. I They broke out a trend and they retested and got rejected. So uh I think I'm looking for a potential spike up or at least increase in volatility and see um what direction we kind of leaning toward
Hmm.
and decide if I want to make a play off of that. But literally that little catalyst there, all I'm looking for is noise around any of these companies that's gonna make somebody else buy or sell. And I'm just gonna go in and see if there's any mispricing based on the price action that I see. But uh, Bone is one that I'm watching for the week. They don't have earnings, but they have some catalyst built around it that I like.
Hmm.
Uh, Alibaba has earnings this week.
That's another one. That's I was looking into. I was gonna look into tonight because at the price that they're at right now, like that's a steal. But you know what's going on with everything, definitely gonna be on the one of the top priorities on the radar.
Yeah, I'm expecting them to get have some more downside just because being a long-term trend here, they closer toward the top end of the trend lines or the trend channel. And 50% of their business comes from retail, and China's been shut down for about a month and some change now. So they do offer like cloud services and things like that, but literally 50% of their revenue is like retail stuff. So um, I'm not too confident that they'll be outperforming what their expectations were. So I'm watching Baba on the downside to
Continue the trend that has been in.
yeah, continue the trend that it's been in and potentially even break under
Yeah.
And start a new trend.
Yeah, because that earnings just might be exactly what's needed to make sure that it goes to that next level of support.
Yeah, it's gonna be an adjustment to like the actual revenue. It's gonna snap right to, true value, and people gonna get either ate up or make some money.
Look at that gap.
Yeah, so I like Costco. This is one of the ones that I'm really watching on Thursday. They have earnings also. They do have, so this one is tricky just because it's a consumer discretionary, but they also have some revenue that's coming from oil, and they do stuff. They get stuff by wholesaling,
Hmm.
and they buy in bulk themselves, which allows them to sell in bulk. So while they don't make any profits really on the products that they sell, they make profits on memberships. So people can save on their gas and save on their bulk buying. Uh, I worked at Sam's Club for a while, and I realized that a lot of the business that came into Sam's Club, like those big warehouses, it was like small businesses more so than like individuals. It's like restaurants getting huge cans of cheeses or huge jars of mayo, and so I'm interested to see how, because that's like a little bit different than like a Target consumer or a Walmart consumer.
Yeah.
So um, I'm interested to see how that turns out, but I think it could definitely be a big swing in either direction. Um, being as though, so this is like three different scenarios that I'm thinking could happen. Basically, they could since they do have oil as a big segment of their revenue and stuff like that, maybe people are expecting them to hold tighter than Walmart and Target, but in our reality, um, if they set those targets too high, uh, and the retail side doesn't catch as much traction as people expected, and the oil and gas didn't do as good as people expected, they're expected to do. I would think that they're expected to do better based off of those things. So if they underperform, it could affect them a lot, like how Target and Walmart and Ross and
Hmm.
other companies got affected just based off of that. Because all we're looking at is just like the difference between actual versus expected.
Yeah.
Um, and once we get that, we'll get some more. But I like that one a lot. I was kind of looking at a couple contracts within there that I might
Hey, before you go
try
off
and
of
go.
Costco, let me get a level of support for Costco, the next level that you expect if it does terrible down for earnings.
Let me see 1 second. I would say right down here, 375 to 335. It's a big range, but it's $30 range.
Yeah,
Could land somewhere in there. It's a zone.
yeah, I agree. It's a lot of volume right there.
Yeah. So Costco, that's something that I'm gonna be watching this week for sure. You see that it broke out of a huge trend right here. So this big candlestick in 1 week
Yeah,
tried to get pushed up right here. So
yeah,
this was current support. Um, but I think it could land around here. This is where consolidation was at one period. So I think that's where we'll see it kind of consolidate again, if not have to find support and kind of break below.
that's crazy. It dropped 2 fib levels in 1 week.
Hmm. This not from this week, but it's from last Sunday actually. We kind of went directly over this when we were doing our Sunday prep last week, but I think we were somewhere in here and we were waiting to see when, basically, not like if, but more so when
Yeah, because it was gonna happen.
it will retrace back into the trend. You know, it's been holding since pretty much March of last year. So it's like that's where it's trading with them. We see that historical data. Last Sunday we were looking at it up here, and literally 2 days, 3 days, the week after, we saw a drop 382 to, I think my target was 320, which is like right around here, and it dropped even below that, and less than a week. So that was like a huge correction to earnings or to their bottom line and their stock price. So that was kind of expected. We also saw Walmart and Target go down, so you could have expected that Ross would do the same. I think we spoke briefly about Ross, spoke about there, but specifically, I was just going off of what retail consumer discretionaries did previously from Walmart and Target. And the trade idea was that based off of that, a less attractive company could end up doing the same thing. So that was simple thesis. Now we didn't execute on it, but that's what we're here for, to kind of recap and make sure we focus up and do stuff more strategic next time and don't get lost in like the flamboyant stuff that's happening every day. So
Yeah, that's definitely something that I want to be able to focus in on more. Is you know, we can take opportunities whenever we see an opportunity as traders, but I want us to be able to focus in on our sweet spots and our sweet companies. Because of the fact that we don't want to get the dog in traffic syndrome to where we just looking at whatever's the volume is pumping and whoever got a lot of trades going on at the moment. Like that's cool and you can definitely make money, but it's easier if you sit in your pocket to try to make some money as opposed to trying to go out there and go run for a first down.
yeah, and it's like the day trades and stuff like that. That's a way to have a play, But there's, if you prepare ahead enough in time, then you can make longer term plays, which end up with less risk involved and time on your side, as opposed to like weekly or bi-weekly or even 3 weeks out options. They kind of move a little bit fast, especially in a volatile market where premiums and stuff like that are high. So you don't want to be overpaying for, it's different strategies that you want to use for different markets. So with a lot of volatility, it's important that you have like some day trade plays in mind.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, you want to be looking at the long-term aspect of things or the longer-term aspect of things, and kind of focusing on highest probability and allocating your dollars there, as opposed to just like you said earlier, chasing what's flashing in front of our eyes. It's just noise, really. So I like Hibbett Sports. I'm not sure exactly how much volatility this can get, just because it's not a popular company. We can see it moved only 54 cents this past trading day on Friday. So they have earnings, I believe, this upcoming Friday, but I think this is a potential play similar to Ross, Target, Walmart. Just weakness in the retail sector. That's a retail company. I see them in Florida. They look like shit all the time. I don't like them. I want puts, but it's a matter of if they're gonna get enough volatility and the options are priced decently to where the bid ask spreads aren't like just killing me as soon as I get in. Burlington Coat Factory also reports this week, which is another one. So like the theme for me this week is retail, consumer discretionary weakness, energy and utilities, potential upside continuation. And then I'm going to be looking at the start of tech and semiconductors this week as well, like kind of gauging what I can expect in the near future from there based off of NVIDIA's earnings and some new information that we gathering about U.S. creating relationships with Taiwan, and they may be trying to get some production or manufacturing relationships established or something like that. So I think that's something to look into and be aware of, at least for NVIDIA. And with that said, I'm also going to be looking at TQQQ just to monitor what exactly, to get a better. So QQQ follows, or TQQQ follows QQQ or the NASDAQ. But you see here, this has already reached a pretty significant drop level on TQQQ. But when you look at the lead-in, you can see that it's a little bit more to drop down from there. Just because TQQQ looks like it already dropped, it's literally kind of following this here. So it didn't drop 3 times as much as this, although it's the triple leveraged ETF, and it also, they reset it every day. So I just think that tech has a little bit more space down, and we'll get a sense for that sometime this week.
Yeah, that 257 area is looking real leveled out.
Yeah, 257 or even down at 225 right here. 220. So
and tell them what the just for recording purposes, tell them what the T for TQQQ is.
You can go ahead and explain it to them.
No, that's just it's the triple leverage, meaning that the volatility and the volume and how much you can make off of it is increased.
Yeah. And it's also like, the beauty of it is that you can play the NASDAQ for $27 as opposed to if you go to QQQ, it's 28 or 288, sorry. And then if you wanted to go to just the futures themselves, it would be $12,000 to play the futures on a NASDAQ. So to get exposure to that, and it still follows these same patterns, for retail traders, it just makes sense to trade TQQQ because it's a lot of liquidity there. And SQQQ is kind of used to monitor what is happening on a downside. Not many people trade SQQQ just because it's not much liquidity there, but it can be traded on real strong days, I guess. So you can see here that it's pretty much following this upside trend. It's kind of hard to see where the bottom is, but it keeps testing this trend as if it wants to keep increasing. So I'm kind of worried about tech overall. So that's why I'm monitoring semiconductors this week. We saw, other tech companies kind of take a dive. So I don't think these semiconductor companies going to be able to, or they're not going to be exempt from that. So,
and the reason why he's saying that is because semiconductor industry is basically the backbone of the tech sector.
Yeah, and most of the companies that's in the NASDAQ 100, they're all tech companies. A lot of them are something to do with semiconductors. I wouldn't say majority, but it's definitely some of the heavier hitters are semiconductor companies. And it's also one of the leading industries for growth. So everything that we have, computers, phones, desktop, laptop, cars, has some form of semiconductor chip in it. PlayStation games, TVs, all of our electronics. It's basically the brains of everything that we use. So some of these companies, they specify in particular ones, like AMD and NVIDIA. They particularly do like processing power, computing power, and like gaming and stuff like that. And then you have other ones like Qualcomm that have like the Snapdragon that fits into the Galaxy phones or whatever phones they go into, because I use iPhone, so I'm not 100% sure. And then back in 2021 or mid 2020, I think Apple kind of opted out of using Intel as their phone chip supplier, and they started manufacturing, producing their own. So it's like a huge industry, and that's why for the most part I'm kind of prioritizing that, even though we don't have so much information on it right now. And CrowdStrike and Palo Alto Networks, just from continuations from last week. Just want to see if they reached the overextended level, or do they have some room to keep going? So I'm going to be monitoring CrowdStrike and Palo Alto Networks as well. And then we got Dollar Tree and Ulta Beauty. Those are like some of the other ones that I've watched. So Dollar Tree is tricky because in inflationary periods of time, people are gonna usually go to the cheaper retailers that you can get more bang for your buck. So I kind of believe that they'll have more earnings than anticipated, just based off of traffic and things like that throughout the inflationary period that we're going through. Especially like if Walmart and Target are falling short in sales, it could be potentially because they're going to consumers are going to retailers like this that have better value for their products. So that's a potential thesis. I wouldn't say that's for certain. That's something that I'm watching this week though, to see if it heads down toward a 100 level down here, where last August I swore it wouldn't break 100, and somehow I got up to 177. But I think we'll see. I think everything's going to come back down to earth, honestly. So from 100 Dollar Tree, from literally 100, and before that it wasn't. It did this for how long? I can't believe it's already 2022. No, it's time went by. But
crazy.
It was fluctuating between 65 just about, and it was struggling to stay above 100. It would, go above it to 120, and then eventually always come back down to it. So I think it might come back down to earth and find support at that psychological level. But that's a tricky one, because they might have more traffic than normal based on the looks of other retailers. So that's something that I'm going to kind of wait and see, as opposed to jump in. It'll be more so as we get more information on it. So, and then Ulta is a different story. I think this is like one of the top forms of discretionary products that there are, so I'm interested to see. And they also had they coming off a high of 458. It's only 100 hours away from that, just about. So just from looking at the chart, I'm thinking that they could just drop down to right here. If it goes really bad, I think that on the upside, if it goes really well, 450 might be the level that it gets back to, but not overnight or anything like that. That's just the direction that it could start going into, just because this trend, it kind of says that it's been growing. So we don't want to go against the technicals too much, but like I said, it's one of the biggest forms of discretionary products that I can think of. I mean, I'm not sure how much makeup women are using these days. So it's something that I'm a watch for, potential overnight swing on what day do they have earnings? Yeah, I might swing it overnight if it's toward the latter end of the week.
Yeah, because with them big old candles, most of those candles that's got a lot of weight to them is on to the downside. So
Yeah. And then lastly, we got the SPY. Uh, so this is the trend that we've been in. We've been fighting, we've been fighting to try and push up. I think eventually we're going to see our way back toward this trend line, you know. Uh, if we get a break below, I guess it's fighting not to go below the trend line.
mm-hmm.
But if we break below, you can see as far down as 360. I think we spoke about this level before even.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I don't care what nobody says. If it hit between, if the spot hit between like 350 and 350 and like 360-ish, could potentially start scaling into positions. Not right away, wait for it to cool down because the selling pressure might drop it a little bit lower than those levels. But I think if you're able to afford contracts that's like 2 years out at that moment when it gets down here, it may be worth grabbing some SPY and Apple contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what I'm watching. I'm probably gonna have some more stuff when tomorrow comes. Uh, there's gonna be more information as soon as the news stations open up and start reporting what happened over the weekend, and so we'll have a better picture tomorrow morning. But it's always good that we kind of prepare ourselves for what we're gonna be doing and kind of set up ideas so that we can be organized and focused on what we focused on going into the week,
Mm-hmm.
and also look back at previous weeks you know results from what we spoke about the Sunday before that. So I think we just want to get a get a routine set to where we not too across the not too all around the too all around, like just all around in general, I guess, but kind of concise and just focused on the few plays and high probability setups that we have. And if they don't come through, if they invalidate themselves through technicals or some new information comes out that invalidates your trade idea, you chalk that one off the list, go to the next one on the list. That was the next highest probability, and keep going until you exhaust all of the trade ideas and they've all been invalidated. And if it's nothing there, it's nothing there. We live to see another day on the market. We live to see another week on the market, and keep going.
Yeah, and that's the importance of how he's just going through the charts and marking off his levels. Because not only is the repetition of doing that, you get better over time, just consistently doing your chart work. You'll be able to start to you'll be able to start to notice trends without even having to put like draw anything on the chart. You'll be able to see it with your own eyes, and then you'll be able to just draw what you see. So not only that, but also understanding, like you were saying, like we can always get back to the spy, and even though it might be advantages that we can take in specific companies and whatnot, or specific industries, just always knowing that we can trade the whole market with the spy. And it's always, definitely something to be sharpening up on is your chart work on the spy, because if all else fails, you can just trade the whole market as a whole.
Mhm. Exactly. So, and I mean, even those like this list here is pretty long. Was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? So that's still pretty long for for a watch list going into the week. But as more information comes out, I'm going to be checking some of these off. Some of these going to be out of here. So, like I said, it's Sunday. It's the preliminary kind of search and for catalysts. I think I just saw just about a couple hours ago, I saw a headline that the first batch of baby formula just got sent from the UK to the US. And so I'm not sure what companies are going to benefit from that. I think Joe was talking about it, the baby formula stuff last week. I looked at the plane that was shipping it. It was a US Army plane. So that wasn't like Boeing or any like, transportation FedEx company, not like that getting it done. So it might strictly be a government thing that no public company has hands on to even make profit on. So, yeah, if anything, let's see what Procter Gamble, they make everything. They probably make baby formula.
I was gonna say that that company that might be different of what you're talking about right now, but I know the company that they said they had about to get a government contract, they reopened laboratories was Abbott Laboratories, ABT.
Yeah, I think you said ABT. And you said they were in talks for the contract, correct?
Right. Yep. They actually, I think they have it already. They're gonna start. I think next month they'll start producing out the actual the facilities they open.
And see, now a way that you can look at that is if they, depending on how much they actually going to bring in from that contract, you can start to look at them to the upside. I know the market is down, but with that type of government contract, they could see some upside if it, basically is able to help out their revenue. You'll be able to see them with some upward momentum heading into the next earnings because that's when it's actually going to show it. Like I was saying last week, everything is already factored in as far as pricing and everything that was supposed to be happening, which is why you see all these companies going to the downside because everybody had way higher numbers than was expected. I mean, everybody was expecting way higher numbers than what was reported. So since everything's falling, now you got a good chance to get into these companies at great prices. And not only that, something like that could be a huge catalyst moving forward for them.
Yeah. And I mean, we look in here. This is the weekly chart. 122 down to 114 over a week span. And that's probably one of the bigger candlesticks on this whole weekly chart. So it's not much volatility even there to make plays. And I'm looking at the reason for shortage. And I don't really like it to think that even though they're providing stuff, they basically had a voluntary recall. And that's why the whole country doesn't have fucking Similac and shit like that. So it's a production issue that they have, which means that they're struggling as a company in my eyes. And I believe milk should come from titties overall. So I don't like this company. It is a potential catalyst, but I don't think it's enough momentum there to make a play. Unless you were swinging it, maybe we could swing it, but we don't see like a clear range of where it could go back to, or anything like that. If anything, it looks like it could break below. I'm not sure if it's going to reach this high right here again, being as though that they just fumbled with the whole country's baby formula. But I mean, like we said, we always searching for demand and supply. So whether I like, fucking baby formula or not, the demand might outweigh the supply, which drives the price, and they would to skyrocket their company value. So
it's just something to look out for that could be a potential catalyst moving forward. It's not necessarily nothing to bank on, but it's definitely something keeping an eye on.
Yeah. And when you that's another reason, like, so tech and retail, those are some of the most active companies in the US, like tech in the US and retail in the US is huge. So it's like they're growing at more rapid rates than companies like this one is here. Even a Procter Gamble. Procter Gamble is considered like a dinosaur company, like Coca-Cola and stuff like that. even though that they're growing at a more steady trend, um, it's still not like a options play really. It's like more of like a buy and hold kind of play.
Yeah,
These kind of companies.
that's more so what I was speaking on with Abbott. It's not even because, like you said, there's not enough volume there for enough volatility for you to really, you know, be in profit in huge percentiles. But it's definitely something that you can get like a 25% over a 3 month span if that happens to
Hmm.
work in their favor.
Yeah, and what you'll learn with the market is like some of the plays are faster plays and other ones are a little bit slower. So PG and Abbott Laboratories and some of the not so sexy companies, they're going to move a little bit slower than other ones, which means that they're like more of a swinging type company. Even Apple doesn't move as quickly as Nvidia and like Tesla and stuff like that does, you know? So you got to know what companies you're dealing with when you're setting up trade ideas too. To like so if you was trying to scalp either of these, it just wouldn't be good enough for a scalp because this only one it's only moved what 9 cents for a day, so it's not potential to even scalp that on an options chain. But over a long period of time, if you have different contracts or if you got just shares, then yeah.
Hmm. But yeah, that volume, that's definitely key. That's what brings me to that how I got into that AMD play. I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to go over real quick, Keith.
Nah, I'm ready for you when you are ready.
All
I'm
right,
just still browsing.
all right. Then you got to stop sharing so I can hop on.
Yeah.
Um, so just like you were saying, that volume is one of the most important things, especially for when you're trying to get in and out of trades. That's the reason why, ironically enough, I have this website that I use. It's called Beast Mode Stock Analysis. But it basically allows you to line up 6 companies and line up their balance sheets all next to each other and a couple, a couple of other ratios and valuable information. So basically, like I was saying, when I was breaking down the price to book ratio, when you have a apples to apples comparison, it allows you to make a better judgment of who's the better company. So instead of just, oh well, 2 companies are in the tech sector, let me compare these two to each other. Now it's now not only the same sector, but we're going the same industry. We looking at semiconductors, of course, and the reason why I was able to make that play on AMD is I noticed that the volume on AMD since they got that upgrade, since they got that price target, since that happened, the volume just shot through the roof. So you see everywhere else, TSM, they got 10, 73, all that. They twice as much as anybody else, and then some change. The volume, that is. The volume in the last 50 days has been growing as well. So now the average for the last 50 days is over 100 million. So that's how one thing that I was able to take advantage of is understanding that the volume has been growing for this individual company. Like I was saying about trading the SPY, you could trade the ability to be able to trade the entire stock market is one that you will be better served with moving forward. But being able to take advantage of individual companies, as long as you know what you're doing and certain things that you're going for, you got your entries and your exits, you could definitely take advantage of some quick plays. Like this wasn't even like a week out or nothing. This was literally the day of. Um, let me pull up Trading View. And I'm gonna show exactly where it is that I got in on the play, where I got out, things of that nature. Just something like just showing you guys a like not a perfect example, but an actual example of entry and an exit and how it was executed and the thesis that went behind it. Um, if this should load up. So I got so right here we got AMD And I entered this play on the hourly. Um, let's see. So I entered this play on the hourly. I noticed that, like I said, after that price upgrade, that allowed them to, a little baby mini gapped up, and then hit right here, right above my trend line. I drew the trend line since we've been in this down market. Since we've been in this down market, drew my trend line. I drew it on the monthly, of course, but just to give you more candles to look at. Oh, this is way off. I don't know why this is up here like this. All right. So I noticed that this is the weekly, of course, but as you see, it's trying to jump out of this. It's trying to jump out of the trend whenever we get a little bit of bullish momentum for whatever reason, because we're in a downtrend, obviously. But whenever we get a little momentum to the upside, you see it'll jump out the trend line and then it'll come right back down at the bottom of the trend line. It goes right back up at the top of the trend line, and of course, it's coming right, it's finishing off as a doji because it dropped right back down to the middle. So the trend line shows us exactly where it's been, basically the top and the bottom. So how I'm going to be looking forward to next week trading AMD, or just not even next necessarily just next week, but just moving forward period. How I'll be looking to trade AMD is I'll be trading within these ranges right here. This will be my move and resistance, and this will be my move and support. Because of course, you got your support lines and your numbers that if it hits here, this is where we're gonna get in as far as purchasing shares and things of that nature. But as long as you have an obvious trend going on, you could just draw your trend and trade within the trend. Um, like I said, I got in on this play on the hourly. I noticed that it hit right here again. It was right here. I was noticing that it kept bumping up against this. Bump, bump, came down a little bit, still had a little bit of momentum, bumped again. And then as soon as it did it again, came down a little bit, bumped again on this candle. This is where I entered the play at. I got in right up here. And I think I wrote it down to I think I only wrote it down to like right here. But it was a quick 100 and something percent gain. I actually messed up by placing a market order accidentally. I don't know how it got changed back to a market order, but I had my limit order set at 40. It got bought at a market order of 75. When it went down to about 40, I bought another one average down and was able to just ride it all the way down here, which still, my 200 day right here on the hourly. That's why I was like, I'm cool with the amount of profit that I'm taking right here, even though it fell a little bit. I'm not tripping off that because, well, like we always say here, you never lose taking profits. So, just like I said, that's just a breakdown of how it is that I got into the AMD play, and that looking on the balance sheet and comparing the companies next to each other in the same exact industry. That's how I was able to spot the fact that AMD has way more volume than any other company in the semiconductor space. And I'm also looking, since NVIDIA has earnings next week, I'm also looking at their earnings to increase as well. By how much is, the story will be told and unfolded next week. But that's definitely something I'm looking at, NVIDIA, and looking to see where their volume's able to pump up to, because that might present some trading opportunities as well, because it's one of the biggest companies on the stock market. See, stop share. Like I said, one of the biggest companies on the stock market. And if you hold it up to any of these other semiconductor companies, you'll see that if you hold it next to all of these other semiconductors, you'll see that the market cap of this company is the second ranked market cap company in the semiconductor space, behind only TSM, which TSM is the biggest semiconductor provider in the entire world. So them being number two right here in America, definitely going to be able to make some noise with this upcoming earnings call, just because of the fact that they number two in the space. So that's one of the companies, or two of the companies, should I say, that I'm going to be looking as far as a trading idea and a trading thesis. AMD and Nvidia, and just another thing to leave y'all with is, know, I always say a rising tide lifts all boats. So be looking at, if Nvidia starts to go on the run, it'll be able to. I'm looking more so at a couple of the other semiconductor companies to go on the run too. But if they get hit for their earnings and they take a hit, then the other companies in that industry is probably going to be taking a hit as well. Same way that a rising tide lifts all boats, it makes a lowering tide lowers all boats as well. So that's just something that I wanted to go over real quick. Just be able to, and of course, this website, it show you a whole lot of other stuff, but that's just basically how I was able to structure that trading strategy for AMD on Friday. Um, that's all I had, Keith. I ain't really have too much unless you wanted to just go over
No, that's perfect. No, that's perfect. I like that. It's a good example of trend lines, entries and exits. I think within those trend lines, not only does it tell you where is it touch on the upside and downside. If you're looking at the weekly charts,
I pulled it back
those
up.
got you. Yeah, those candlesticks, they show the amount of time it takes to get from top to bottom. So if you're looking at the weekly candlesticks or the weekly chart, and you see from top to bottom, it took 5 red candlesticks. That means it took a month and 1 week for it to make that full move. So you can kind of base your future judgments and expectations off of the historical moves. So if it usually takes a little while for it to drop and then it goes up really fast, we can see that through just candlesticks. So while you're reading, you want to be reading chart patterns. You want to be looking at trend lines, and when within those trend lines, you want to go to yep, that right there. It's 5 weeks exactly, and then it start consolidating, and then try to make a move up. And from where's that? At the beginning of 2022, it made a move up. Yeah, one more month.
Right here.
Yeah, so right there, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks to make that swing down, and then it rallied for 2 weeks, and then it went another one, even though it's a green candlestick in between, it's still in the middle of a downtrend. So that's considered, still. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and then it finds consolidation on that green candle there, and then starts making a move to the upside of the trend. And it only takes 2 weeks to do that once again. So we see a pattern here. It moves up quickly and it kind of slowly trickles down. We might be getting towards the end of that because we below the 100 mark. And I think I saw earlier that 75, 78-ish was a consolidation period back in May of 2021, November of 2020. So we may be like toward the very bottom of this downtrend, which would be 75. Yep, right there. So it's still some downward space, but it's like it's not a weird spot, but it's an opportunity potentially to go long if we find the right bottom, which is looking like 75, 74.50. So, and then the next bottom under that would be that next consolidate, yep, right around there. Then that gets to, that's like kind of far back to 2020. So we're in a different environment. So that's probably the last support that I would make until we get more information. But yeah, and then if you look at this right here perfectly, at the very peak of all time right here, that's what, if you just kind of look at it with a glimpse, that's a head and shoulders form. So it might bounce up from that big red 75 line and create another shoulder, just like how we saw.
Yeah, that's really looking like what it could possibly do, and do the
Yeah.
same thing, and then head to the downside to that 50 area.
Yeah, it's definitely going to test 100 again, that psychological level, and it's going to realize like shit, it can't break, and then it's going to break below that 75 and create a huge head and shoulders on a monthly. So
Yeah, like it's gonna come right here, dip right here, come right here, same way this ran up right here, level out right here, and then back to the downside.
yeah, so it's gonna be a long term head and shoulders. So like over the next 6 to 9 months, we might be in for some some fake outs and volatility. So that's all I wanted to follow up with on AMD. Just to when you're looking at the trend lines, you can also use the candlesticks to kind of formulate a time frame of how long it takes for those moves to happen.
And then, like you were saying, you see the weeks. Now you can that's how many weeks it takes. You can pinpoint it exactly with the days.
Mm-hmm.
How many days it goes on the run before it, you know what I'm saying, and see what the ratio of you know what I'm saying, your rise over run ratio, basically, like you was on a math chart. And once
Yeah,
you understand the rise over run ratio is, you see exactly what's gonna happen. You could basically map it out before it even happens. Now, if it breaks, it breaks, and there's nothing you could do about that. But I would stand strong to this. It's holding firm to this trend. Shit, definitely something to be looking at.
yeah, it would have to break above like 120 for me to feel like, oh, this shit is actually like turning bullish, you know?
Yeah,
Uh,
and it had to do it fast too.
yeah. So I think we got a
uh,
nice little batch of companies that we could watch throughout the week going into this week and just in the future in general, just to keep eyes on.
mhm. Before we wrap it up, did anybody have any questions? Appreciate y'all for pulling up and what I'm saying, getting some of this good old game. We got Steve, Wally, and Joe in the building. You know what I'm saying? So
We're
if y'all had any questions, or if y'all had any specific company that y'all was, might have been taking a look at, that y'all wanted to get a deeper dive on, go ahead and, speak y'all truth or forever hold y'all peace.
Yeah, and my bad. I don't mean to shoot down ideas or anything like that. So keep them coming. I just want to keep it real with y'all in terms of what we trying to accomplish. We doing options. Certain companies fit the criteria and others don't sometimes. So I want to make sure I'm being transparent with y'all and also letting you know like just the I guess just stuff that you need to know. It's just no. I hope nobody don't feel bad about it. Don't feel scared to bring up your companies and no shit like that.
Yeah, because we just gonna, in all actuality, we're gonna keep it funky with you, like we wish somebody would have did when we first got started, when we was trading bullshit companies, all the way real.
Yeah, or just trading quality companies, just not the right way, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bro. Yeah, I'd rather y'all keep it real with us, man, than try to just fake the funk type of thing. So I'd rather get shot down than be in the wrong play, type shit.
Nah, facts. I appreciate you still
Yeah,
having the confidence, even though, because that could be discouraging having somebody that's,
yeah,
shooting down ideas and plays and shit like that. But don't get discouraged. Keep like going back and forth to the drawing board and formulating ideas based off of trades that you can make.
yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
All
I appreciate you guys' honesty. Sorry to cut you off.
Appreciate you, big dog. You know what I'm saying? Anytime y'all pull up to the party, we always got a warm welcome for the family.
Nah, big facts.
Good. Yeah, I'm on the road right now, but I'm still tapping in.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so tomorrow before the open, we're gonna be doing a live trading thing. I'm gonna probably have a few different companies that I might be adding to what I just spoke about today and removing some of the ones that I had today. I think some of the ones that I'm watching for sure are Nvidia, Costco, and Ulta. Um, I'll be keeping eyes on Dollar Tree, but not as closely as those two that I mentioned. And then SPY and TQQQ are always a fallback or a uh, a play as long as there's volume there. So
got it. Yo, I was gonna say, I was listening to I didn't really look at the get like a catalyst on it, but it was talking about crude oil, WTI. But when I bring up the chart, it's different than what they were talking about in the energy sector. I guess WTI is the ticker when I bring it up, but when I seen it on the Yahoo Finance, it had like a CL equals F. I didn't know what that means.
So that's the futures, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So if you put /CL, that's crude light oil, light crude oil. So the same way that TQQ or same way that QQQ follows /NQ. So all right, let me do like a little reset. The futures are like literally what they are. It's the future. It's the expectations for the futures within that specific market. So when you see the /CL, that's what's expected for the future within light crude oil. And when you look at /NQ, that's what's expected for the future. And you can look at sometimes it's like they'll have, all right, this is as far out as July, even though it's May right now, it'll be futures for July or September or something like that.
Got it.
And then what's that? I'm sorry.
What's the ticker for the future?
/CL. And that's what WTI is probably trading off of. I don't trade that much, but it might follow similarly to that.
Okay, now it makes sense now because pretty much what I got from what they were talking about was that right now crude oil was trading sideways, and it looked like it was in consolidation, and they were saying pretty much that eventually it was going to break that level and to the upside, and I guess he was talking about the futures. So when I look at it now on my chart, it's like trading at like $6 or $5 something, and yeah, it looks like when I'm looking at it on the 4 hours, it looks like it's doing higher highs and lower highs.
/CL or WTI?
WTI.
Okay. So
now, and this is what I'll show you right here, right? Because this is gonna make everything else a whole lot more simple to deal with, right? We're gonna take this since we got the candlesticks and we can't just go to the max. We just gonna go like this.
Yeah, that's fine. Is that the 4 hour? Nah, 1 minute.
This is just to let you get a bigger picture of this company that you look at.
Okay.
This is what they did. They ain't done nothing but shit the bed since 08.
All right, I see what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? So when they're talking about what they talking about, that's the ticker symbol that Keith just gave us.
The /CL.
Look at July futures, and that's right here.
Oh, okay.
When they talking about it's trading sideways, they talking about this.
Yeah, right now that's trading sideways outside of that trend that it was in previously.
Okay,
yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, it's real important that you matching up the ticker symbols with the exact company, because when they say crude oil, /CL specifically, that's light sweet crude oil, So that's why I say it's important, like within industries, it's important to know what industry you're dealing with, because I don't know the difference between light sweet crude. I don't know the difference between that and offshore, or if you know gas and oils and stuff like that, you know that the liquid natural gas isn't the same as the crude oils, and so when certain contracts and certain deals are being done or certain headlines are being made, you want to decipher which exact companies are benefiting from that. The same way with I spoke about the semiconductors, like a lot of them are semiconductors, but some of them focus on car chips and other ones focus on phone chips, and then you got another one that focus on computer chips, but they're all semiconductor companies. So when they speak about certain sectors getting momentum, or they speak about certain sectors in general, markets in general, you want to specify it into who exactly is serving and providing products within that specific market.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense now that you said that. So it's no way like you said, the futures are saying the future. So I wouldn't look at WTI looking at it like, all right, the future looks like this for WTI, or it's two completely different things.
Two completely different assets and securities.
Gotcha.
And the way
Okay.
that TQQQ follows QQQ, that's not how WTI follows /CL. They're not correlated.
CL is basically the futures on the entire crude oil sector. WTI, that's an individual company that's in the oil sector.
In the oil industry.
Yeah.
I gotcha. All right, I got that shit mixed up, but I'm glad for that clear up. You know what I'm saying? Now I understand that better.
Yeah, that's how you learn. That's how you learn it.
And it would make sense to get more, how you say, knowledge on actual energy in that sector, because then I would know to find that catalyst or whatever it is making that move, you know? So it would make sense to know more about it before, like, you know, trading in. So that comes back to fundamentals pretty much.
Yep. Come back to fundamentals.
That's the reason why he's always referring to the tech sector, and he's always referring to TQQQ and SQQQ, because he has a very, very basically a strong outlook and a strong understanding, even more so. Of the
nice, yeah. It makes a lot of sense.
And that's why I feel like you was when you was picking out like Teladoc and other telehealth companies, you could speak about it a lot easier because that's what you actually understood. You feel me?
Yeah.
Or like something like this is a little bit out of even my realm. Oil, that's not something that I really they just start going crazy this past couple months, so it's a little bit out of my knowledge. So I kind of just stay away and play what I know.
That's exactly what I need to do. Play what I know, type of thing. But I get what you're saying though. Like you stick to kind of what you already have a gist around, you know, like
and if you could gather more information and kind of learn more about the fundamentals of that market and industry, then by all means go ahead. But you know,
I got you. Yeah, for sure. I definitely understand that now. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, no problem, bro. I think that was Steve or Wally. Y'all got any questions or anything like that?
Everything I have to access in my book. And this week, well, for the next month, I'll be working every day, almost every day, 10 hours a day. So once I log in the morning, I'll just be able to listen, you know.
Word. Yeah.
But we're just doing this. I'm trying to just put the money aside. So when I do get out there, when I do feel comfortable, you know.
Yeah, you turn your money into more.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Congrats though. You're gonna be stacking some bread and able to.
I appreciate it. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Steve, you got anything? If not, I guess we could start wrapping up. And we're gonna be doing a live trade Monday through Thursday, 9-11, like usual. Work, got you. Steve at work. Yeah, so I guess also if y'all think of any question, just kind of type them in the chat over time. So that's perfectly fine as well. All right, stock chart shorty.
I didn't even realize I've been muted this whole time because I got this wild ass train in the background.
No, that's cool.
But I was gonna say we still trying to figure out a way to get the actual recordings themselves into the Discord, but it's a whole lot of space. So what we probably gonna end up having to do is just posting the Zoom link to watch the recorded session. So y'all can, fall back and get whatever. We was on here for a couple minutes before everybody hopped on. So if y'all want to just catch back up with whatever y'all wasn't able to catch when y'all first hopped on, y'all be more than welcome to. Other than that, love is love, y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning. Keith, you had anything you want to add?
Nah, I think that's yeah. We're gonna see y'all tomorrow morning. If you guys have time, make sure you tap into like Yahoo Finance, Bloomberg Radio. Just kind of get a sense for market context, even if you're not gonna be trading. Just kind of getting a routine of subconsciously understanding what's going on in the market. Even if you're not like listening, it's like, oh, I did hear that. And oh, I'm looking at this company right now that's being affected by it. And it'll make a dot start connecting a lot easier for you. So make sure you putting the work in outside of these sessions that we do on the group sessions and stuff like that. Just kind of dive in. Don't be scared. We here to learn. So
Yeah, and just always, just always remember, we definitely more than willing to help out whenever. You know what I'm saying? I need any type of help. Always feel free to type in whatever questions y'all have in the Discord. Keys in that motherfucker all day long. I'm popping in and out of that motherfucker periodically throughout the day. So, definitely, cause we trying to get this Discord, to a million people. So the more that we get engagements with the people the more the people that's already in the community get the engaging on the Discord. I feel like that'll bring a little bit more eyes so we can give out a little bit more game. And yeah, man, we're just trying to teach as many people the right things as possible.
yes, sir. Yeah, Steve just messaged me and we'll get that coordinated and stuff on another time.
All right, well, yeah, everybody enjoy y'all Sunday. We appreciate y'all for pulling up. You know what I'm saying? Love is love.
All right, fellas, enjoy the rest of y'all evening.
Love is love. Godspeed.
All right, y'all too, bro. Y'all take it easy. Have a good night. All right.
All right, Brody.
All right, fellas. Peace.
Sir, yes, sir.